Hey everyone, welcome back to Go English. I'm Mizu.
And I'm Lucas. Welcome to day 16 of 30 days to build your English identity. Hey Mizu, how are you doing today?
I'm good. A little tired, but doing well. How about you?
Pretty good, although I think my backpack is getting heavier every week.
Really? What's in there?
Just a few things I probably didn't need to buy. That actually reminds me, can I ask you something?
Of course.
What's something you'll almost never spend money on?
Designer clothes. I just can't bring myself to pay that much for them. What about you?
Fancy watches. I think I'll pass. Okay, one more question. What's something you'll happily spend a little too much money on?
Books. No hesitation. If I walk into a bookstore, my wallet is in danger.
See, that's what I find interesting. It's not really about the books, it's about what they mean to you.
Huh. I never thought about it that way.
Most people think shopping is just buying things, but the choices we make, what we save for, what we never buy, they quietly tell a story about who we are.
And that's why today's lesson is about so much more than shopping. You're going to learn how to talk about the things you buy, the things you don't buy, and the reasons behind those choices, because that's how people really get to know you.
Exactly. So today, let's build another piece of your English identity and learn to talk about shopping the way real English speakers do.
Let's get started.
Before we learn any English today, let's do something fun. No grammar, no vocabulary, just one simple question.
All right, I'm listening.
Imagine someone gives you a $100 gift card and you have to spend it today. What's the very first place you'd go? Don't overthink it. What popped into your head?
I already know mine. A bookstore, no question.
I had a feeling you'd say that. See? Most people answer almost instantly. A bookstore, a clothing store, a cafe, a sports shop, an online store. We don't usually have to think very hard.
Because we're not really choosing the store or choosing something we already care about.
Exactly. And that's why I like this question. It's not really about shopping. It's about priorities.
Here's another one. What's something you've never regretted spending money on? Maybe travel, learning, good food, a hobby, or time with the people you love.
Now, flip it around. What's something you bought and later thought, yeah, I really didn't need that?
I think we've all had at least one of those.
Probably more than one. But that's the interesting part. The things we choose to buy often tell a story about what matters to us.
And today, you're going to learn how to tell that story in English, because shopping isn't just about spending money. It's another way to talk about who you are. Hang on. Is that another pair of running shoes?
I knew you'd say that.
Lucas, didn't you buy some a few months ago?
I did, but these are for long-distance running. I've been saving up for them.
So, were they worth the money?
For me, absolutely. I run almost every morning. If I'm going to use something hundreds of times, I don't mind paying a little more.
I actually get that.
Really? I thought you'd tell me I spent too much.
Oh, I was going to. But then I remembered I'm exactly the same with books.
That's true. I've seen your bookshelf. Actually, I've seen your second bookshelf.
Hey, no judging. People always ask me, why don't you just borrow books from the library? And honestly, I don't know. I like owning them. I write little notes in the margins. Sometimes I pick up a book I read 5 years ago and find something I highlighted back then. It's like meeting an older version of myself.
Wow, I never thought about it like that. So you're not really paying for paper, you're paying for something you'll come back to again and again.
Exactly. Kind of like your running shoes. They're not just shoes, they're part of your routine.
You're right. Funny, we're both spending money just on completely different things.
Different purchases, different priorities.
And maybe that's what shopping really shows. Not what we can afford, but what we believe is worth investing in.
Yeah, sometimes the most interesting thing you can ask someone isn't, what did you buy? It's, what do you happily spend money on without feeling guilty? You'll probably learn a lot about who they are.
Hey, Mizu, can I ask you something? If you're buying clothes, do you shop online or do you go to a store?
Oh, definitely a store.
Really? I thought you'd order everything online.
No way! Clothes are different. I want to try them on. Sometimes they look perfect online. Then I put them on and think, nope, this isn't me.
That happens to me all the time. See, you didn't just answer, I prefer shopping in stores. You explained why. That's what makes your English sound natural.
Exactly. Instead of only saying, I like shopping in stores, you could say, I like trying things on before I buy them. Or, I'd rather see it in person first. Maybe, most things I buy online, but clothes are the exception. Now people can picture your habit, not just your preference.
All right, here's another question. What's something you don't mind spending a little extra on?
Honestly, a good winter jacket. I'd rather buy one that lasts for years than replace a cheap one every winter.
That's a great answer, because you didn't just talk about a jacket. You told me how you make decisions.
Right. You could also say, I'm happy to pay more for something I'll use for a long time, or it's worth it to me, or I'd rather spend money on quality than quantity. Those aren't shopping expressions, they're life expressions.
Okay, confession time. What's something you almost talked yourself into buying, but didn't?
Oh, easy, a fancy coffee machine.
Really? You love coffee.
I know! I watched review after review. I filled up my shopping cart. I was this close. But then I asked myself, am I actually going to use this every day? The answer was probably not, so I closed the app.
That's such a real situation. We've all done that. And notice the language. I talked myself into it. Or, in this case, I almost talked myself into it. You can also say, I almost bought it, or I couldn't quite justify it. Those are the kinds of expressions people really use. All right, now let's go the other way. What's something you bought online and later wished you hadn't?
Oh, a phone stand. It looks amazing in the photos. When it arrived, it felt really flimsy. Now it's sitting in a drawer somewhere.
I think everyone has one of those. Something that looked perfect on the website, but not so perfect in real life.
Exactly. So instead of saying, I regret buying it, I'd probably say, I barely use it. Or, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Or even, I wish I'd waited before ordering it.
I like that one. Because it isn't really about the phone stand. It's about the feeling. That little moment when you realize, I probably didn't need this after all.
And that's today's lesson. Don't only learn words for shopping, learn how people talk about the decisions behind shopping. Because in real conversations, that's usually the interesting part.
Hey, Ms. Can we go back to what you said earlier about books?
Sure.
Listen to your answer again. You started by saying you love bookstores. Then you talked about the last book you bought. After that, you explained why you bought it. Then you said you almost never spend money on designer clothes. And finally, you admitted you'll probably always spend money on books.
When you put it like that, it sounds like I've been telling my life story.
Exactly. And that's the point. You weren't answering 5 separate questions. Everything connected naturally. One idea led to the next.
That's how real conversations work. People don't suddenly change topics every 30 seconds. They follow your story.
So if you're building your own answer today, don't think, I need to answer every question. Instead, start with something simple. What do you usually buy? Then tell us about one recent purchase, explain why it mattered, talk about something you rarely spend money on, then finish with one thing you'll happily invest in.
Because that last part is where people really get to know you, not because they know what you bought, but because they understand what matters to you.
See how different that feels? We're not really talking about shopping anymore. We're talking about priorities. And sometimes that's the most interesting conversation of all. Hey, Mizu, can I ask you something? Earlier you said you bought new running shoes. If you only said, I bought new shoes, how much do I actually learn about you?
Honestly, not much. You just know I bought shoes.
Exactly. But then you added, I finally bought new running shoes. That little word, finally, already tells a story.
Yeah, it sounds like I'd been thinking about it for a while. Maybe I'd been saving up. Maybe I'd been waiting for the right pair. It's not just a purchase anymore. There's a little journey behind it.
Right. And then you said, I wear them almost every day, so spending a little more felt worth it. Now I understand why you bought them. Not because you like shopping, but because running is part of your life.
Exactly. That's something I want you to notice today. When you talk about shopping, don't stop at what you bought. Tell people why it mattered. That's the part people remember.
All right, let's try another one. Imagine I ask, do you like bookstores? What's the easiest answer?
I like bookstores.
Perfectly correct. But it doesn't really sound like you.
Right. I'd probably say, I always leave with a book.
See? That already sounds like you.
Or maybe, even when I promise myself I'm just looking.
Oh, I know that feeling. You walk in for 5 minutes and somehow walk out carrying a shopping bag.
Exactly. Everybody knows someone like that. Maybe it's books, maybe it's plants, maybe it's snacks at the supermarket.
That's why this version feels alive. People can actually picture it. Instead of saying, I like something, show us what usually happens. Okay, one more. Suppose someone asks, are you careful with money? What would you say?
I could say, I'm careful with money.
Nothing wrong with that, but I know you. That's not the whole story.
You're right. I'd probably say, I'm careful with most things, but not books.
There it is. That's my favorite sentence today. Because in just a few words, I suddenly understand you. You're careful, but you also know what's worth spending money on.
And that's today's upgrade. Don't make your sentences longer. Make them reveal something real about you. Sometimes one honest detail is much more interesting than 3 perfect sentences.
Mizu. Can I tell you something I noticed a few years ago?
Sure.
I used to think I was really bad at saving money. I kept telling myself, I spend too much.
Really? You don't seem like that at all.
That's because one day I looked a little closer. I wasn't spending money on everything. I was spending money on running, shoes, race entries, sports watches, things that help me stay active. And suddenly I realized, oh, I'm not just spending money. I'm investing in something that's important to me.
I like that because I had almost the opposite experience. Whenever I bought trendy things, I got excited for maybe a week, then I forgot about them. But books, I still have books I bought years ago. Sometimes I open one, see my old notes, and remember exactly who I was back then. That's never felt like wasted money.
See? If someone looked at our bank statements, they'd probably think we were really different.
Very different.
But what they're really seeing isn't shopping. They're seeing our priorities.
Exactly. Some people happily pay for great coffee every morning. Some people save every dollar for their next trip. Some people never buy anything for themselves, but they're always buying little gifts for the people they love. None of those choices are random. They all tell a tiny story.
So maybe the better question isn't, what did you buy this month? Maybe it's, what are you always willing to invest in? Because that's usually where your values show up.
And here's something I hope you remember after today's lesson. The goal isn't to sound like a native speaker. The goal is to sound like yourself. English is just the language. Your choices, your habits, your values, that's the story people will remember.
So when you answer today's speaking questions, don't try to impress us with expensive things. Just be honest. Sometimes the smallest purchase says the biggest thing about who you are.
All right, Mizu. I think it's your turn.
Uh-oh. Why do I feel like you're about to make this difficult?
Because talking is how we improve. Ready?
Ready.
And everyone watching, don't just listen. Answer with Mizu. Even if it's only one sentence, that's enough. Shadowing. First, don't worry about the meaning. Just copy the rhythm. Imagine you're chatting with a friend, not taking a test. Someone asks, so where do you usually shop? Your turn.
Nice. Now don't stop there. Give one tiny detail. Maybe there's a weekend market you love. Maybe there's a little local store you always visit. Maybe you order almost everything online because life gets busy. That extra detail makes the conversation feel real.
Okay. What's one thing you never really hesitate to spend money on? And don't say what you think sounds impressive. Say what's actually true.
Maybe it's fresh ingredients because you love cooking. Maybe it's concert tickets because music makes you happy. Maybe it's gifts for your family. There's no perfect answer. We're learning to sound like you.
Now, flip it. What's something you almost never buy? Why not?
Maybe you don't care about expensive sunglasses. Maybe you never buy decorations because you like keeping things simple. Or maybe you always borrow things instead of buying them. Again, tell us the reason. That's where your personality shows up.
Think about the last thing you bought. Not the biggest, just the most recent. What was it? And here's the important part. Did it actually make your daily life a little better?
Maybe it was a lunchbox that helped you stop buying takeout. Maybe it was a backpack because your old one finally gave up. Maybe it was a small desk lamp that made studying easier. Sometimes the smallest purchases end up being the most useful.
Last one, and I think it's the most interesting. Imagine I secretly looked at everything you've bought this year. What would I probably guess about you?
Not your job, not your age, you. Maybe I'd guess you love being outdoors. Maybe I'd guess cooking is your happy place. Maybe I'd guess you're always learning something new. That's today's real challenge. Can people hear your personality without you ever saying, "This is my personality"?
All right, Mizu. Pretend we're having lunch together. I ask, so, what kind of shopper are you? Just answer naturally. No perfect English, no planning. Go.
I don't think I buy a lot of things. If I need something simple, I'll usually order it online because it's quick. But if I'm looking for something for my apartment, I'd rather go to a real store. I like seeing it with my own eyes before I decide. The last thing I bought was a small desk lamp. I had been studying more in the evenings, and my old one wasn't bright enough. It wasn't expensive, but I use it every single day now. I'm actually pretty careful with money. If something's only going to make me excited for a day or two, I'll usually leave it. But if I know it'll make everyday life a little easier or more enjoyable, I'm happy to spend a bit more. I guess that's why my apartment isn't full of stuff. I'd rather own fewer things that I really use and appreciate.
I like that answer. You never once said, I'm practical, or I'm thoughtful. But somehow, I still felt those things.
Exactly. That's what a good answer does. Instead of describing your personality, it lets people discover it.
All right. No overthinking this time. Just imagine these conversations are happening today. Your friend looks into your shopping basket. They smile and say, wait, you actually bought that? What did you buy? Why did you choose it? And if today's lesson helped you discover something new about yourself, even something small, tell us in the comments. Not the most expensive thing you've ever bought, but one purchase you'll probably never regret. We're really curious to hear your stories.
Because everyone will have a different answer, and that's exactly what makes this community so interesting.
Thanks for spending a little time with us today. Keep noticing, keep growing, and keep building your English, one real conversation at a time.
We'll see you in day 17. Bye, everyone.
See you soon.
Your English journey doesn't end here. Click on the next video and keep learning with us. We've carefully selected it to help you build more confidence, more fluency, and more real-world English.